In this video, we're going to make a list of 12 ways to improve practice for beginners. Number 1, learn the title of the piece and the composer. Today, I will be practicing Ode to Joy by Ludwig van Beethoven. Number 2, make sure for guitar, I'm in treble clef. Number 3, key signature. Between the treble clef and the time signature, there's a space in the music. Sometimes we find sharps or flats in that space. If you don't know what a sharp or flat is, don't worry about it. We'll get to it in upcoming videos. But for now, we're looking at Ode to Joy. We have no sharp or flat, which means that we're in the key of C. Again, if you don't understand that, we'll get into key signatures and keys in upcoming videos. Number 4, time signature. If we look at our music right beside the treble clef, we have a 4, 4. 4 over 4 looks like a fraction. Top number means 4 beats per measure. The bottom number means that the quarter note is equal to 1 beat. So we know that before we begin this song, Ode to Joy, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, begin. So always make sure that you know what the time signature is. Number 5, always read through the music to make sure you know what the notes are. So we're going to look at the first line of Ode to Joy. So as I look, first note E, second note E, F, G, second measure G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D. You get the picture. Just making sure that I know all the notes in case there's a note that I do not know. I do this without the guitar, and then after that, I pick up my guitar and make sure I know all the notes on the guitar. E, oh, first string open. F, first string, first fret. G, first string, third fret. Next note I have is a D. Next different note that is C. C, D, E, F, G. No problem, I know all of these notes, ready to begin practicing. Number 6, play through the music without the metronome. So now in step 5, we just sort of played through the music, read through the music, made sure we knew all the notes. And so now don't worry about the counting or the rhythm, just play E, and maybe even say the notes out loud. F, G, G, F, E, D. And again, I'm not worried about how long I'm holding each note at this point. And again, number 6, just play through the song, not worrying about the rhythm or the exact duration of each note. Number 7, begin practicing with a metronome. Now the way that I do this with most of my music is I'll start at 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll play through the piece at 40. If I don't have any major trouble, I'll raise it up to 42. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play through it at 42 with no trouble. Raise it up to 44. Play through 44 with no trouble. You get the picture. I'm going up 2 each time. Until I get to my desired speed. Let's say my desired speed is 60. So by the time I get to 60, I should have no trouble. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now for faster pieces or when I have trouble, what I do is I'll go up as far as I can. Let's say that my highest speed was 60. At 60 I made a lot of mistakes. I'll go back down 10 to 50, 2, 3, 4. Go back up 2 to 50, go up 2 to 52, 54, so forth until I get to 60. By the time I get to 60, I should have it pretty well. If not, I'll go back down. Once I can play at a comfortable speed with the metronome, I begin working on other guitar techniques. One of them is playing to the right of the fret. I play close to the fret wire as I'm playing through the song. And then I'll go back to the metronome and make sure I'm doing that as I'm practicing with the metronome. And for a closer look, playing to the right of the fret. So number 8, playing to the right of the fret. If you'll notice that, especially in the close-up, or even from this distance, it looks like, almost looks like I'm playing on the fret wire. And of course we don't want to play on the fret wire simply because it makes a dull sound. So number 8, play close to the fret wire, to the right of the fret wire. On the guitar, we have a challenge. Our right and left hand are sometimes going in opposite directions, or at least they feel like they're going in opposite directions. So when I play an E to an F, I have to make sure that my pick and my left hand are moving at the same time. See, that time I can play the first string before I actually play the F, and it deadens the sound, and I have a gap between the E and the F. One exercise that you could use in all of your pieces is to take, so the first problem is to take the problems of the song and use them as exercises. So the first problem is E, E, F. So E to F is really the first problem. So I can just practice playing E to F over and over. Next problem is F to G. To make sure I'm moving the pick, or if I'm using my fingers, make sure I'm using the pick, or moving the pick and my fingers simultaneously. So number 9, playing legato, connecting the notes. Number 10, memorize the music. You should always strive to memorize all of your music. No one wants to see you sitting there staring at the page. They want you to interact with the audience or interact with them through music. Now, most students memorize their music just by practicing over and over and over. And of course, if you use the metronome, you're going to be using a lot of repetition. But another way, or some techniques that I've used over the years to memorize music and had students use that's worked very well, is what I call measure by measure. So memorize the first measure, and then memorize the second measure, and then put those two together. And then keep going, memorize the third measure. After you've memorized the third measure, go back and play all 3 measures. Memorize the 4th measure. And again, go back and play 1 through 4. So not only you're memorizing new measures, you're reiterating what you've learned or what you've just learned And then you're also building a bridge, you're connecting, building on top of what you've already memorized. Another trick that you can use, a mind trick I call it, is to memorize the song backwards. And I don't mean play the notes backwards, but to play the last measure. So memorize the last measure. Memorize the next to last measure. Add those two together. Memorize the measure before that. Then add the next two measures. And then the beginning, the first measure. Add the remaining three measures. So, number 10, memorize your music. Number 11, informal performance. After you've memorized your music, get together a group of friends, neighbors, relatives, enemies, neighborhood animals, and give a performance. And take note of where you've made mistakes in your music during the performance. Go back and rememorize, work on those pieces. And number 12 is connected to number 11. Finally, give a formal performance, whether it's in a church, a recital, senior citizens home, a hospital. Go somewhere to people who don't necessarily know you that well, and give a performance. Again, you can take note of where you've messed up, rememorize, rework on the techniques, the 12 techniques that we've gone over. And hopefully this has helped you 12 ways to improve your music, and 12 ways to improve learning your music. 12 ways to improve practice for beginners. Number 1, make sure you know the title and composer of your music. Number 2, make sure you're in treble clef. Number 3, look at the key signature. Find out if you have any, and even also find out if you have any sharps or flats throughout the music. Number 4, time signature. Make sure you're in 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Make sure you know the time signature at all times. Number 5, do an initial read-through with the music. Begin reading the notes out loud, then start trying to find out if you have any notes. Try to find the notes on the guitar. Number 6, play through the music without the metronome. This may take a long time, this may take several practice sessions. Or if the music's easy enough for you at this level, you may get it done in a few minutes. After you've played it through without the metronome, then begin practicing with the metronome, going up in increments of 2 until you get to the fastest. You can play it without making mistakes. Go down 10 and start coming back up 2. Number 8, play to the right of the frets. Number 9, legato. Connect the notes. Make sure your right and your left hand are moving at the same time. Number 10, memorize the music. Whether you're memorizing it note by note, measure by measure, or backwards. Number 11, give an informal performance. And number 12, give a formal performance. So hopefully these 12 ways to improve your practice will help you. The more you practice, the more you'll begin to incorporate all of these steps into all the levels and learn how to play your music more efficiently.